HBO Max House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 1. We're going to talk about it, break it down. Spoilers up ahead. Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick, and I got Kyle with me, a super talented artist. Go check out his Instagram account, Pecos with a 0. But now we're going to jump into Game of Thrones. Yes, we cover Westworld here. Yes, we covered Primal here. But now we're covering House of the Dragon. I almost said Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh, House of the Dragons. But Kyle, what do you think? First impressions.
So I am interested enough to want to see the second episode. That's about as far as I'm gonna go.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I realized I read most of the book
of
Blood and Fire, which is what this is kind of based on here, or at least one of the periods in history. You know, I liked it. It's got a slow burn because we're starting to get, you know, indoctrinated into the politics of this time and place. I think their like buildup of like you know, like filling in the backstory of stuff with like what led to the current state was pretty good. It was short and concise and well done. Yeah, I don't have any emotional connection to the characters yet. But who knows? That could you know, progress.
That's true, huh? Because like it took us a whole season to get emotionally connected to Ned. And then, obviously, spoilers if you don't know what happened in first Game of Thrones. But
if you haven't seen it yet, then don't even bother.
You know, visually it looked good. I liked the cinematography. The acting was good. It was great to be back. And I was like just like back in the
like putting on
in the
an
throne
old
room.
pair of pants.
Yeah. And it was cool to see the old throne or the updated throne with all the swords everywhere. And I love how the throne is hurting him. Or killing him.
No, so two things about that. One, the throne, I think it's Aegon.
Okay,
who was the original guy that went to Westeros. Like he made the Iron Throne with the idea that a king should never sit comfortably upon their throne, right? So that was perfectly well timed because he just essentially banished his brother, right? And so he got cut because it was one of those decisions where it's like for the best of the realm, or so we would suppose, right?
Yeah.
That, you know, he had to do that, so he gets a cut.
And then is the cut on his back also from the throne too?
So that's, I mean, we're led to believe that that's what it's like played off as, but it might be something that is more serious, right?
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, if you look at it, it's not necessarily a gouge or a cut. It looks like a sore,
like an
that's been
infection.
festering.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then the other thing about the throne is that when you were talking about the updated throne, so that's the thing. This is at the height of the Targaryen power, right? So the Iron Throne was really really opulent back in the day. So like if you go back to the books, the Iron Throne is kind of like it's like upon a pyre of swords, right? It's like raised. It has its own stairs made out of swords. It's
very extreme, right? It's like it's
and
like
so
a Tim Burton chair or something. Where it's like windy and everything like that. Yeah, okay.
And so here we get a little bit more of that opulence, but more spread out than it is, you know, high, right?
So we had some fun callbacks to the original series. They mentioned Princess Nymeria, right? Or Nymeria or whatever.
Yes.
Which is what Arya named her wolf after.
Yes.
Which I thought was super cool.
Which I think is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Or like
some kind of warrior person, right? Or something. Don't get me wrong. I never read the books. I'm just going off the show. Please, if I mess it up, Kyle might know better than me. But then we saw the old god trees or the old... which was in King's Landing, which I don't remember seeing in the original Game of Thrones, an old god.
That's a good point.
So I thought that was really cool to see. What are those trees called? Do you remember what those? I just know them as the old gods, but I can't remember the names of the trees.
I think they're the god trees, but
the god trees. But and then one thing that bugged me.
Oh, sorry. They're the werewoods.
The werewoods, yes. By the children of the forest, right? Yes, the children of the forest is what takes care of them.
Yeah.
But yes, okay. And then one thing that bugged me about this episode was when he has the talk with her about being princess. And he drops ice and fire. They show the dagger. And it's just like, you do not have to force connect these two series together right away. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to, like, you know, he believed in this prophecy, ice and fire, you know, the thing from, I was just like, okay, I get it. You want to connect the series, but it's like, don't force it upon me right now. Like, let it gradually come in. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but
right.
It's opinion. And I mean, you probably loved it. I probably hated it. So 50-50 with us. And
I was like, well, I mean, like, my reaction to it was pretty lackluster. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, that was about it. I'm like, oh, so that's how they're signing in. All right.
Yeah. And then I was bummed that I didn't see a Stark at the tournament.
Oh, that's true. At the tournament.
I saw him kneeling.
Yes, at the coronation,
Rickon Stark, right? Rickon Stark. It was Rickon Stark.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, you know, overall I'm enjoying the series, but I had a question for you. It said it was 172 years before Daenerys at the beginning, right? They had like the date. So in like 200 years, all the dragons are gone that quickly?
So remember, now if I remember correctly, in this episode, they said there are only 10 dragons.
Okay. So the dragons are already on the decline, I guess.
Well, no, that's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what their current status is at this time. I know that the dragons, though, at least from the design I saw, it looks like they're much more varied, right? Than like
so
what
much
we got
color.
to see in Game of Thrones.
The red was so beautiful when it was taken off.
And their designs are a little bit different. We're going to see more. Like, I've seen some snippets. And it looks, they look pretty cool. So yeah, but yeah, so I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
The dragons. I was curious why. Yeah. I just thought like 200 years and all the dragons are like gone, or I know they mentioned the dragons get smaller over time. And I remember that in Game of Thrones. They're like, yeah, over time, because they kept them more contained. There wasn't a need for them to terrorize and, you know, and all this stuff. So they got smaller. And obviously these dragons are still smaller than that giant skeleton in the crypts. You know what I mean? That one's still like, that was the megalodon of the one, dragons.
I believe the Viserion from Old Valyria, right? It's the original. It's the
Aegon's
it's the first
dragon.
It's
right?
like the first dragon to like come to Westeros from Old Valyria,
which probably
like
was
after the
Aegon's, right? Because he came to conquer or something.
Yeah.
So and then you know, I thought. So I watched the behind the scenes, like when they like discussed. Did you watch that too, by any chance?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So I liked how they made this connection, which was cool because I realized it after they said it. Where remember how she talks with her mom, and there's the whole conversation where our battlefield's in the bedroom with the children, and they made a choice to have the battle sequence cut between her battle sequence. Yep. And I just thought that was cool. Really cool, like for storytelling and stuff, and how brutal that whole sequence was, like, you know, and just even having to make a choice. And they were even saying like back then in medieval times, there was like a 50% chance like you would even survive or the child would survive. And stuff like that.
What the Maester told the series, right? He's like, so we can either, you know, both these lives will die, or we can have a chance at saving one life. And I'm like, wow, those really are the odds in this situation. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
those are the odds, yeah. So, never tell me the odds.
Yeah. And that's brutal too. Like, she doesn't know what's happening until they pull out the knife. Yeah. And then she understands.
Which was very intense. Good acting on everyone's part for that sequence too.
That was the most intense scene.
Yeah, it was even more intense than the fighting sequences. Yeah. And even the gold cloaks or the city police going around.
Yeah, like they're doing like a purge or something. Like, it's crazy. Like that was like tyrannical martial law. Just like they're just picking people in the street and going like rapist, murderer, you know, like thief, scary right? Stuff. Cutting off hands, balls, and beheading people, right?
All parts.
All parts. All kinds of parts, you know?
And then no Game of Thrones opening.
No.
Which was very interesting, like to not see the towers building in the map and everything like that. So,
you know, it's a different kind of show.
Maybe we'll get it next episode. Maybe this one was just like the establishing episode. Maybe. You know, but the theme was there.
Now, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but they did a pan up of that courtyard that's inside the castle, right? The
with the old tree.
No.
Okay.
So
Oops.
it's within the palace confines, right?
Okay.
And they're walking over it, and it's that big square, right? I feel that that's where they have the map later on.
Oh,
in
that
the
big
Game of
opening.
Thrones, the map of Westeros.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
good call. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, this is before they did
Before
that.
they even mapped out Westeros.
Yeah.
And then anything that you saw that was different from the books from your memory, or is everything pretty straight? Anything new? Any twists?
I mean, the thing is like you have to remember that the book Fire and Blood, that's what I'm talking about, is it's told through two different accounts, right? One is told from, I forget the guy's name, but it's essentially a court jester.
Oh.
And the other one is a maester, right? Like a maester historian, right? And so they have conflicting accounts because like the court jester, like the fool's one, is very like body and like has a bunch of sex and murder and like a lot of like political backhand.
It would be the bard from The Witcher, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then the maester's one is a lot more like high-minded, sort of like, oh yes, and in such and such, So you get these two conflicting perspectives on who's telling the history, right? The narrative of what happened with the Targaryens. So, and also like it pauses on certain areas to elaborate before it goes on later into the histories, right? So this is focusing, it looks like, specifically on this period in time, right? This few years, right, of this transition in this time. So that's pretty cool, right? It's kind of expanding a bit on what the book already has. But what's cool is the book gives us that scaffolding, right? So it's already written, which is great.
Yeah, and I know for all of George R.R.'s really involved with the script too and everything like that. So if it's, I mean, that was the issue with the Game of Thrones series, was like once they ran out of content, they're like, make it up as we go along, and then like after, was it season 5, it just kind of even some of the dialogue just wasn't as cleverly witty, kind of thing. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Like, I'm down to watch this first season. It was really cool. Oh, I had a question for you. So what is it with the Targaryens and like their power of dreams? Do they have some kind of power or like foresight through dreams, or is it like misguided dreams and stuff?
Well,
like
yeah.
that?
So the thing is like they've been called like dragon dreams, right? Because they're tied with their dragons in some cases. So the thing is that the dragon dreams often lead to ill portents, right? Like they lead to the dream seer's doom, and that's because they're often misinterpreted. Right, because dragon dreams are like that. They have a bunch of multiple meanings that can be interpreted, and oftentimes the Targaryens are looking towards their own greatness or towards specific aims that they, personally think are important. However, they ignore other aspects of it, right? So it often leads to, like a bad outcome. So
cool. Well. Yeah. Anything you're excited to see? Is there anything you're looking forward to this season?
I am super excited that Graham McTavish is Sir Harold Westerling. He is the captain of the Kingsguard.
Is he the bald guy?
He's the bald guy with the beard.
So he's the dwarf.
He played in exactly. He played in Outlander too.
Oh, I was thinking The Hobbit.
And so I'm like, right, come down from the Highlands to protect the king, huh?
Oh, the Hobbit story, but the party, isn't he Dwalin or Ballin or?
Yeah, he's one of the dwarves. Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of those guys. Yeah. He's one of the guys.
Yes, right away I'm like, oh, I know you. I spent all that time re-editing the Hobbit movies, so it could be one movie. I know
I'm actually really curious about Millie Alcock, right? Her portrayal as Rhaenyra, right? Like, she might be pretty good. And also she's she's pretty attractive. So so yeah.
And then it was really cool because we got Old Town back, and we know the Maesters are from Old Town and stuff like that. Then you have Hightower, we know that.
We got the old gang.
Yeah, we got the Baratheons back. It was just cool to. We were missing still a few. We didn't see the Lannisters. I didn't see the Lannisters anywhere.
No, and, though apparently Jason Lannister is supposed to make an appearance at some point.
Ooh.
So yeah,
it'll be fun to start seeing all the houses and stuff, but they don't have to bring them all in the first season. You can easily bring it in. Like, I don't think the Starks are even needed in this story, obviously.
I mean, do we even know how much they're planning on drawing out this party?
I think it's more than one season, right?
I mean,
you would think.
I guess that's all we can really surmise at this point.
Because they wanted like 12 episodes of the first Game of Thrones. Like, after it did so well, they're like, we want this to the end of time. Like, can you extend it as long as possible? And they were like, no, we have a Star Wars gig. But yeah, I'm excited. It wasn't the worst episode, wasn't the greatest episode, but we are starting to get connections to the characters. I'm excited to see where they go with dragon riding. It's cool they have saddles now too. It's like, okay, they're not just riding bareback. Because this
would have the time when dragon riding and dragon rearing was still like an art, right?
Yeah.
Like they still had knowledge of this stuff.
Yeah, they even have like keepers and everything too. They have like the swords and they're covered in ash, probably from all the smoke.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I noticed all the ash. I'm like, oh man, that would be
like the whole like
that's a rough job.
You smell of dragon, right? And then like those two dudes, like the dragon handlers, like what are they? Like, you know, like are they? Yeah,
they're like lion tamers, I guess, right?
Like, or like you know, like I forget the proper name, but like
the proper
stable
name?
People, that take the horses and stuff. Stable keepers.
Yeah.
They're like dragon keepers. They're like, come on, take it by the reins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're like, they have that special touch that the dragons like, maybe.
That special touch.
Well, let us know down below if you like the episode, if you're excited to see Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon back, or Westworld back in general. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really curious if you guys want to, follow Pecos with a 0 on Instagram, and then anything we missed too, like little Easter eggs, to the first season. We saw the dagger. There was a lot of mention of ice and fire.
Wait, Nick.
Whoa.
That's the second time you've mentioned the dagger. What are we talking about?
The dagger he was wearing, isn't that the dagger that Arya uses?
Is it?
That's why. Let me know down below. I was like, I thought they showed the dagger on purpose. Like, oh, that's the dagger. Dang. Like, she drops and woohoo.
Okay.
Don't give that to freaking Kit Harrison, who's been trying to chase after the Night Watch, anyways. But yeah, let us know down below what you think. Go to AsArt.space for audio, video links, and cool little shirts we've been designing. Raised by Wolves, #SaveIt. We would like you back on HBO Max or any streaming platform. And we'll see you on the next AsArt. Dude, dragons are back. Beautiful, different colors, and it looks like they had little wings on their feet too. Did you notice that?
Actually, one of them does have